Good evening, friends. The subject of my talk this evening is Are Dreams Real? Are dreams real? That is the subject. According to the non-dualistic philosophical school of Vedanta or Hinduism, that is also called the Advaita Vedanta school, something which is real has to be changeless and eternal. Anything which changes is not real, and anything which is not eternal is not real. So, some of you may object to this definition of reality given by the school of Vedanta by saying, look at me, I used to be a baby, now I am a grown-up person. Have I not changed? I have changed, but I am real. I am not changeless, but I am real. And then again, I won't be living in this world forever. Sooner or later this body will die. So I won't be eternal either. Still I am real. So your definition of reality is not correct. And that school will say, no. If you think a little more, then you will find out that you also judge reality using these two criteria, changelessness and eternal existence. That school will say, consider a creature which changes its form every 5 seconds. The first 5 seconds it is a kitten, then it becomes a puppy, then it becomes a weasel, and so on. Every 5 seconds it keeps on changing. Then if you are asked, what is that creature really? Then you will say, I don't know what it is really. Why not? Because it is changing. So, had it not changed at all, had it remained a kitten all the time, then you would know that it was real. And something in order to be real has to be eternal. So, suppose you see an African elephant in your backyard. It is there for only 10 seconds, then it disappears. For 10 seconds you thought that the African elephant was real, but then it disappeared, so it is not real anymore. Had it been there eternally, then could you deny that that was real? No. So this is how they will argue, that school. So this world is not eternal and it changes. That's why this world is not real. That's why they dismiss this world as unreal. And also the dream world that one encounters, that is also for similar reasons is not real. That's how they will argue. And there are people who will say, when you are in your dream world, you see dream mountains, dream lakes, dream trees, dream people, they all seem to be real. And then if someone comes to you and says in your dream world, none of these things is real, then you will say, are you kidding? Everything is real. I am seeing these things, experiencing, then suddenly a tiger appears there, hungry tiger, and it is about to jump on you. Then you get scared. And what happens? Your dream is gone. You wake up. The dream tiger belonged to the dream world, which is unreal dream world, but still it helped you to get out of that unreal dream world. Then you wake up. Then according to Hindu philosophers, this world which you experience in the waking state, that also is not real, because it is not eternal or it is not changeless. And there are some who will say that this world is also another dream. You switch from one dream world to another dream world. That's why in our scriptures there is a saying, Uttishtata Jagrata Praipya Varan Nibodhata. You make effort to become awake. You are somnambulist. Become awake. And then finding the superior ones, you become enlightened, get to know the truth. That is, in this world also, we need something like a dream tiger, which will help us become awake. And if we become awake, what will happen to us? He will say, at that time, your egos will disappear. The owner and the object owned cannot be the same. I've said that a few times. Yes. You own your house, therefore as the owner you have to be different from your house. You own your cars, so as the owner you have to be different from your car. You own your physical body, that's why as the owner you cannot be your physical body. You own your sense organs and motor organs, so therefore as you own them, you must be different from them. What about your mind? You own your mind. You say, this is my mind. But you own your mind, but as the owner you have to be different from your mind. But you cannot separate yourself from your mind, because the idea of your individual existence is a thought of your conscious mind. I. That is called the ego. As long as that ego is there, you don't know yourself as the owner. And if you transcend your ego, what will happen? They will say, then you will become divinity. You will get to know that you have always been divinity, but you will get to know at that time. But you will not be there. This, consider an ocean, infinite ocean, that is divinity. And it has so many waves in it. And each wave identifies with its form, that's why it is a wave. But if that identification is gone, then what remains is that infinite ocean, infinity. So also is divinity. Divinity is transcendental. It is beyond time, space and causation. It is also eternity, infinity. And you may call it consciousness also if you want. So that's what is divinity. That's what we all are. And I quoted that saying, that is arise and become awake and don't be sleepwalking. And finding the superior ones, you become enlightened, you get to know the truth, become awake. So who are the superior ones? The superior ones are the divine incarnations. They are like dream tigers. They are there to help us wake up. It's the story of Janaka in Hinduism. He was a knower of Brahman or divinity. That's how the story goes. Then a person came to him to become his student because he also wanted to know divinity. Then Janaka, at that time, after the completion of the education, some fee would be paid to the educator. So Janaka said, "Pay my fee." And then the person who has come to Janaka to know divinity, he says, "You have not yet helped me to know divinity. How should I pay your fee now?" And Janaka said, "When you get to know divinity, where will Janaka be and where will you be?" You all will disappear, only divinity will remain. That's how the story goes. Now let me refer to another superior one. And he is a divine incarnation. And divine incarnations are like dream tigers. They come to help us become awake and become one with the reality. So Sri Ramakrishna is a divine incarnation. He says, as long as the ego is there in you, this world should be treated as real. You cannot dismiss the world as unreal. That will be a lie, he says. He is divinity in human form, the full manifestation of divinity in human form. He is always aware of it. And he is saying that as long as you have ego in you, you should consider this world as real. You cannot dismiss this world. As long as you consider yourselves identical with the form, then you are a wave. You are not the infinite of form. That is the idea. So now the subject of my talk this evening is, are dreams real? Yes, as long as our ego is there, the dream world is real, and dreams are real. Dreams are very strange things. There are certain dreams, they are called devasapnas, divine dreams. Through those dreams, a person can get some deep spiritual teaching. I myself have had such dreams. Even who would be my guru, spiritual teacher, that also I came to know through my dream. And that dream became true. I had to go to him and have spiritual initiation, and he agreed to give me spiritual initiation. When I was a very young boy, one question used to perturb my mind. Why am I born? And I would be asking this question. but I wouldn't find any good answer. I had many other philosophical questions which would come and torment my mind. And as a young boy, I used to go and torment my mother asking those questions. And she said, you see, there was a boy like you in Europe, and his mother said to him, my child, you go and read, then you will get to know. Then I started reading books in a children's library which was there in our town, but I could not find answers to my questions. Eventually, I started getting answers to my questions by reading a book to buy which I didn't have to spend a single penny. And that book is the book of my mind. But anyway, that's a different thing. So, I had this question, why am I born? And that question used to perturb me off and on. My mother was very spiritual, and she wanted to visit some holy places. Among them, she wanted to visit the city of Benares, considered very holy. And then I had graduated from school at that time, and I think I entered the college. Then my father said, now you have some holidays, so why don't you take your mother to Benares? And my father paid the fare and everything. So you went to Benares. But at that time, temporarily I had become an atheist. I wanted to get the proof that God was there. And as I didn't get the proof at that time, I became an atheist temporarily. Then we went to Benares, and that famous temple of Lord Shiva called the Vishwanath temple was there. And it is still there, I think. And then my mother wanted to visit that temple. I went with her. But my mother said, come with me. I said, no, I will stay outside. Because I wanted to be true to myself. I didn't want to go to a temple of so-called Lord Vishwanath, in which I didn't believe. And then I was there outside. There a family had come in the courtyard, and the ladies for some reason fainted. And the husband was very perturbed. Then some water was being poured on the stone symbol of Lord Vishwanath, and that would come outside and collect in a little pool. And I went there and collected some water with my hands and started pouring that on the lady's head or face. And then she became conscious. That made me happy. I felt that I had done a better job than to enter the temple. Anyway, excuse me for this digression. So this question, why am I born, went on perturbing my mind. When I would go out for a walk, then that question would come up in my mind. So one day, at that time, I had I had finished my education and then joined the audit department of India. Just joined it. And then I got a friend, his name was Mihillal Saha, and he was a very spiritually oriented person. So I liked him. And at that time I was not an atheist. My atheism had disappeared. And then I had a strange dream. In the dream I saw that I was walking down the Dashashwamedh Ghat street of Benares. And there was no one else there. And it was dusk. And at the other end of the Dashashwamedh Ghat road, a sannyasini, a nun, Hindu nun was there. And she was walking toward me. In dreams, all kinds of ideas come. By seeing her, I thought she was my mother in my previous incarnation. Anyway, she came to me, and with great love and motherly affection, she started stroking my head. And at that time, while I was walking in my dream, I was thinking, why am I born? And then she said to me, you want to know why you are born? You are born this time to go to a foreign land and preach religion. And this will be your last incarnation. You won't be born again, she said. She said that with such sincerity and everything that I could. But just then I got up, woke up and thought, what a strange dream. I'll preach religion, it was against my grain. I never wanted to preach any religion or anything. And I would have to go to a foreign land and preach religion. What a strange dream, I said. But the dream was very vivid. So that friend of mine, Mihillal Saha, came. And I told him about that dream. He said, what a ridiculous dream I have had. Then he said, who knows, this dream may come true. I said, never, it can never come true. But eventually, I was able to join the Ramakrishna Order of monks in India. And Mihillal Saha also had joined the order, and he became Swami Tapanananda. And he, after doing some very important things in our order, he was placed as in charge of the Ranchi Tuberculosis Center. But anyway, and I was at the headquarters, worked there for 12 years. And they decided to send me to the United States. And the day I joined the order, I thought I would not exercise any option or anything. Whatever the order will ask me to do, I would do that, thinking that that was God's bidding. So they said, we are sending you to America. And I agreed. And this news spread, and Swami Tapanananda came from Ranchi to Belur Math, to our headquarters, to see me off. And he told me, he used to call me Jyoti Maharaj because my pre-monastic name was Jyoti. He said, Jyoti Maharaj, you remember that dream which you had? You remember that? And it is going to be true, it looks like. I could not deny that. So I am here. So that dream has become true. Not only that dream, some other dreams also which I had came to be true. Why, if dream is unreal, they say, then how all these things happen to dreams? Through the dreams we can get to know the future, and that becomes a reality. So, as long as the ego is there, Sri Ramakrishna said, the world has to be considered as real. But how can the ego disappear? By the practice of selflessness. the ego generates selfishness. So that selflessness we have to practice. And there is abundant scope for that in our monastic order. Every work that we do can be performed selflessly. We don't take any salary or anything. No. That is not the tradition. Our food and clothing are given by the monastic order. But there is abundant scope for us to serve all. And we are also taught that the entire world is our family. So wherever we are in the family, and the Lord of that family is God. So this selfishness can be easily got rid of. Everything that we perform has to be done selflessly. Yes. And Swami Bhaskarananda, he, just after I had joined the order, monastic order, he came to me one day and pointed to my body and said, "Whose body is that?" I said, "Revered sir, it is my body." Then he said, "No, it used to be your body, but since the day you joined the monastic order, it has become the body of Sri Ramakrishna, because our order is Ramakrishna Order, and Ramakrishna is considered God. So it is God's body. You have to use it for God only. It is no longer your body." So that's how he taught me that we have to be unselfish. Whatever ego is associated with my body, I have to change it and think this is for God's use, not my use. And this practice will eventually help me to get rid of selfishness completely. And when that selfishness will be gone completely, then what will happen? Then divinity will become manifested. So, are dreams real? Yes, as long as the ego is there, dreams are real. But when the ego will disappear, we will know that this world dream is not real. The dream that I am a human being, when I wake up, I come to one world, and when I fall asleep, I go into another dream world. Those ideas will all be gone. Are dreams real? As Sri Ramakrishna puts it, he is a divine incarnation. That as long as your ego is there, the world should be considered as real. But you have to transcend our ego. And when that ego is transcended through the practice of selflessness, then divinity will be there. And that is our goal. Everybody's goal. Sarvam Khalidam Brahma. This is one of the highest truths taught by Hinduism. Everything is divinity. Tattamasi, you are divinity. Aham Brahmasmi, I am divinity. I am Atma Brahma. What I consider as my soul, that is also divinity. Yes, and this is the highest teaching of Hinduism. If all other teachings are lost, but these teachings survive, then you may say that's the spiritual teaching of Hinduism is still alive. Okay, I have talked for half an hour. Thank you for your patience. May the blessings of God be upon us. May Sri Ramakrishna bless us all. Thank you.